I've got for you 11 tips to gain muscle fast as a skinny guy. I've always been a skinny guy trying to bulk up myself. I've tried literally everything from unconventional diet advices to training programs. Some stuff worked, to be honest, but some didn't. But now I'm here. I'm not the biggest guy on the internet. I'm not the biggest guy on the planet, but I'm certainly much bigger than this guy right here, which I was a few years ago. So in this video, I want to share with you everything that worked for me, and this is my ultimate guide for skinny guys trying to bulk up. All right, let's do this. I'm going to split this video into three main parts. First, we're going to talk about the diet, then we're going to go over the training, and at the end, we're going to talk about others. So these are random tips that I've learned through my experience. So let's start with the diet. As a skinny guy, we obviously need to gain weight. And that means we need to eat in a calorie surplus. A calorie surplus is when you eat more calories than you need. So at the end of the day, you're going to have a surplus of calories left, which your body is going to take and then store as muscle, as body fat, a bunch of that stuff. The problem is that we have a low appetite and fast metabolism. So what that means is that we are not that hungry, and when we eat, we generally burn those calories very, very fast. I'm not saying it will be easy, but here are my tips. Tip number one, we need to talk about calorie dense meals, and these are meals that are packed with calories but not that much volume, in comparison with low calorie meals that are high in volume and low in calories. So the foods that we want to take a look at are pasta and pesto. You can add some olive oil and some cheese and you get over 1000 calories. You can eat that, and if you like it, then that's good. You can eat it every single day. Then we can see some avocado, nuts, fatty fish, all that good stuff with a bunch of calories, and it's healthy. In critical situations, we can also do some Ben & Jerry's ice cream. You can do regular soda, pizzas, cakes, all that stuff, cookies, if you really need to. Now, that's exactly how I gained weight fast. I tried to eat healthy for the most part of the day. And at the end of the day, when I needed to eat some more calories or so to get some more calories in, I would eat some junk food. Generally some ice cream or some other sweets. Now, in the perfect world, you want to get your calories only from whole nutrition foods. The problem with these foods is that generally they are low in calories and high in volume. Things like salads, chicken and broccoli, all that good stuff. But I know how hard it is to get all of your calories only from whole nutrition foods, and this is why I did the way I did it. I'm not saying don't eat healthy. All I'm saying is that don't restrict yourself from some unhealthy foods if you really need to get your calories at the end of the day. Tip number two, calorie dense liquids. The reason for this is because it's easier to drink 1000 calories than to eat 1000 calories, all right? So you can drink things like you make a shake, you put in a blender, banana, peanut butter, ice cream, milk, oats, protein powder, and a bunch of ice. That's gonna make it very high calorie. All right. Tip number three, protein. Protein is important for the gym. All right, and is the building block of the muscles. Think about the muscle is like a wall, and the bricks is the protein. Now, the general rule is to get 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So for example, if you weigh 180 pounds, then you need to get around 180 grams of protein every single day. The quality of the protein matters too. High quality protein sources are whey protein, casein protein, the protein from the eggs, lean cuts of meat. Just focus on getting the most of your protein daily intake from these sources, and then the other stuff is just a bonus. We still have a problem. We have the calories, the protein shakes, but we still have a low appetite. Here are my tips to increase your appetite. Tip number 4, eat small and frequent. Instead of eating one big meal and then not be hungry any soon, try to eat smaller portions with a lot of calories and eat frequent. You can split the meals into more portions. So you make a big meal and then you split it into multiple portions and you eat that throughout the day. That's gonna make it easier for you to eat. Then you need to eat foods that you like. Do not force yourself to eat something that you don't like, because that's not gonna help you in the long run and you'll never eat that thing again. So eat foods that you really like. For example, I really like pasta, so I make when I make pasta, I make it high calorie and I eat it every single day. Tip number 6, set a timer. For me, it helps to eat faster so I can eat a lot, but for some of you, it might help to cut out distractions, cut out the TV, the videos, all that good stuff, and set a timer to focus on eating. Try and experiment with this and see if it helps. So you set a timer, you sit at a table, and you focus only on eating. You can eat faster and it's gonna help you eat more. Now, let's talk about the training part. The common mistake I still see many beginners and guys do, they do something called bro split. That's when you train one body part once a week and one body part a session. So for example, Monday you train your chest, Tuesday back, Thursday legs, Friday arms. The problem is that it restricts you to training all muscles only once a week. What you want to do instead of that is you want to choose a program that allows you to train all muscles twice a week. So for example, instead of doing bro split, which is training one body part a week, you can do something like full body and you do it 3 days a week. So you train your full body Monday, then Wednesday, and then Friday. So this way you train your entire body, all of your muscles 3 times a week. That's better than once a week. Now, in terms of what you actually need to do in the gym, you need to combine compound and isolation exercises in your workout. Compounds are basically an exercise that combines multiple muscles in the same exercise. And isolations is basically when you isolate one muscle from other muscles. You want to do things like presses, squats, bicep curls, tricep extensions, lateral raises, all that good stuff, and you want to combine both compounds and isolations, just like this. For complete beginners, I recommend the program that I created, but any program that is going to follow all the rules of a good program is going to work. If you're interested in this, click the first link in the description. Alright, after choosing a good workout, you need to start prioritizing the most important part of training, which is something called progressive overload. Once you learn to do this, I'm telling you, you will make exponential gains. To make it simple for you, you want to gradually increase the load on your lift. So every single session, you want to put more weight on the bar than you did the previous session. So you have basically 2 ways. There are more ways to progressively overload, but these are the ones that I really like and the ones that worked for me. So number 1, you can add 1 to 2 reps with the same weight from the previous week, or you can add 2 kilograms with the same reps from the previous week. You can start adding reps and eventually adding weight. This is the way I do it. So if I want to progress on an exercise, I'm going to start working on the reps, increasing the reps for 2-3 weeks, and then I'm going to start adding weight. To conclude the training part, we need to talk about the rest times. Do not do the mistake of thinking you need to have short rest times in order to build muscle, because that's simply not true. What you want to do is to rest until you feel ready, until your cardiovascular system is ready, until your muscles that you're trying to target are ready. For harder exercises, things like squats, presses, all that stuff, aim for 3 to 5 minutes or until you feel ready. For easier ones like bicep curls, things like that, aim 2 to 3 minutes or when we feel ready. All right. I usually have my watch, and I set the timer after every set, and I set the timer for about 3 minutes. If the watch rings and it's been 3 minutes and I don't feel ready, I'm gonna still rest a little bit more. But if I feel ready until 3 minutes, I'm gonna start doing the exercise. But it's good to just have some kind of guide there. Now the point is that you need to be ready to go hard again. It's not about resting 3 to 5 minutes or 2 to 3 minutes. The entire point is that you need to be ready to go hard again. Now, let's talk about the others. Here I want to talk about supplements. You don't need to take any supplements. For a long time I didn't take any supplements and I've made great gains. But here are the ones that I'm taking right now. I take protein powder, protein bars from time to time, and creatine. These are the ones that work for me. These are the most researched ones. And if I were you, I would take only these ones. Next, you can have the perfect diet, the perfect training, and the best supplements. But if you don't sleep enough, you are not making any gains. All of this is worth nothing if you don't sleep. I usually try to get 8 to 9 hours of sleep per night. I cannot do that every single day, every single night, but that's simply my rule. Try and experiment. Maybe you can get away with less, or maybe you need more. Thanks for watching, and if you like my content, then you will love my full program. I've put everything you need all in one place, all my experience all in one place. This is the first link in the description. Go click that right now. And it's not only the workout program that got me jacked from this physique to this physique, but as you can see here, a bunch of more stuff and bonuses.